This is going long, guys. My name is John Douglas. I am Marshall and Lee's, I would say best friend, but it's more like brother. As much as Aunt Jana might not claim me, I am her older son, okay? Uncle Leland at times too, okay? There's stories of playing baseball in the backyard with Marshall and Lee. We play home run derby, me and my brothers. And this is just shows you how close we were. Uncle Leland would get home from work, you know, it'd be a long day at work, we'd be in the backyard playing baseball, having fun. Uncle Leland would come out and say, you know, how's it going out there? He'd just come out and say, Douglas boys, go home. That's all it was. Douglas boys, go home. Good to see you too, Uncle Leland. But I could go on and on about Marshall and our relationship. I wrote down so many just highlights of our relationship, from knocking out Charlie Houston for Burt Macco to torture KFC on the way to the Braves games. On the way to the Braves games, we buy KFC like an hour from Atlanta. You know, I always told Leland, you're torturing us. What are you buying this KFC for right now? Can we just eat it right now? Like, no, you have to wait. There's just so many stories, and Grayson, I'm just so happy to have you. I would say as, you know, as a new good friend, but you're going to be like a sister to me. You already are, and I'm so happy to have you, and welcome to the family.
All right. Got a laundry list over here. So, good evening, everybody. First of all, how beautiful is it out here? This perfect setting for a perfect night, a perfect weekend. Very nice to welcome. For those of you who don't know, I'm Raymond Brady, and Marshall's been one of my best friends for as long as I can remember, and Grace has been a great friend of mine since high school. I'm truly honored to be a part of the wedding, and thank you to the Malchows and the Walkers for having us out here. You know, Marshall, everybody knows that Marshall has always tried to be a coach for as long as I can remember, like always drawing up plays in the dirt, always coaching you up, you know, giving you a motivational speech. He's just that coaching type. And Marshall, I'll tell you what, man, you couldn't have drawn this play up any better. This is the best one that I've seen you draw up. One of the great things about Marshall is you just can't have a bad time around him. He just can't, as Lee said earlier, he can't stand it to see you have a bad time. So he'll sacrifice himself to make sure that you're going to have a good time out there. Whether it's throwing on a weenie bikini and strutting around the party, make sure that everybody has a good laugh and gets the party going. Or, you know, he's always the first one to volunteer. When the Malchows boat breaks down in the middle of the lake, he's always the first one to volunteer to go back and swim and get the jet ski to pull it back in. Even though every now and then he has some butterfingers and doesn't catch the jet ski keys when you throw them out in the middle of the lake, they end up on the lake floor. Then you got to pull the boat in yourself. You know he's trying. He's always trying. I mean, not only does this quality help him with his job, but I think it makes him a great fit for Grayson, because I've really never seen Grayson having a bad time. Grayson always has a smile on her face, always brightening my day every time I see her. And I can't tell you how many times she came over to the Malchow household in high school just to hang out with Marshall. And the guys would be over there, and we'd end up playing Super Smash Brothers, or you know, watching some kind of sporting event or playing ping pong. And Grayson was always there with a smile on her face, having, you know, just never letting on that she wasn't having a great time. You could tell she didn't want to be doing what we were doing. But she always had a smile on her face, and she was just such a sweetheart, just a great sport every time, you know, every time she was around. You know, these two are two of the sweetest, most kind, great, fun people that I know. And I truly do think of both y'all as family. I once asked a great man great wise man by the name of Ray Brady, how he did so well in front of large crowds, public speaking. And he said, I'll never forget what he said. He said, Raymond, if you really believe in something and you know enough about it, then you can talk about it for days. And now I know what he means, because I could talk about these two for days. But I won't do that to y'all. So with that, everybody, raise your glass.
Here, here.
And Marshall and Grayson.
Hey, Drew Hill. I'm from Augusta, but all the Aquinas boys know me as the Columbia County kid, so I catch that a lot. I got no award on the bachelor party or something like this, but we don't talk about it. No, but I just want to talk about a couple stories I had of Grayson and Marshall. And the first one is, I'll never forget the first time I met Marshall. I was with a mutual friend, and I didn't even know Marshall and Malchow at the time. And I go out to the lake house, and you would have never known that I wasn't best friends with these guys. I really felt like a part of the family, like a part of the Richmond County, the Aquinas family. No one would ever known that I was an outsider, and it speaks volumes, and I couldn't be more appreciative of that. The story about Grayson is, just the biggest heart, kindest can be, and I can remember lying around listening to some Missy Elliott in the car. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. But Lee and I were sitting on a Sunday night, thinking, we live together, we're roommates, and we're thinking, we're not the best cooks, we'll admit that, and we really wish we could use a home-cooked meal. And sure enough, Grayson texted, I think Lee, and was like, hey, y'all come over this week, we're gonna cook for y'all. And that was the best meal I've had since I've been in Atlanta. No lie. Granted, I cooked for myself, so it's not saying much, but it was a great meal. It was a great meal. And I got one last little funny story about Marshall. We were sitting there, and it was after they got engaged, and of course the earthquake and everything. And I said, Marshall, how'd it go? He's like, tell you what, man, that was the best proposal ever. It was earth-shattering, And just classic Marshall, and I couldn't be happy for y'all. And I really do look up to y'all, and I appreciate everything. Thank you.